What happened when I did a training to reduce bias in resume reviews? I'm replying to this commenter on a YouTube video I posted. With all the focus on merit-based hiring, I've been making videos about how you actually do that because it is important, but it is not the default setting. I shared in a previous video that a client I had a few years ago asked all of her leaders to read this book about reducing bias in judgments with the hope of performance and hiring ratings being less biased. Nobody read it, including the client, except for me. Fortunately, they let me put together a training where I went through 3 techniques that they could do, and we used resumes from their own resume bank. The main takeaway is that before we applied the techniques, supervisor ratings were all over the place. They were seeing the same resume, they were rating out all kinds of different things. When we applied the techniques, their ratings became more similar. Why? Because they start measuring the same construct. People who aren't social scientists give psychologists a hard rep for not measuring real stuff because they can't see a lot of what we measure. And this shows a misunderstanding of 2 really important parts of psychometrics: the measurement of psychological constructs, our reliability and validity. And the cover of this book actually shows that concept. This is a bullseye. Notice that these darts where they've been hit are all over the place. This shows poor reliability. They're not consistent. Reliability is consistency. Validity is accuracy. Accuracy would be hitting the bullseye in the middle. You cannot have accuracy, validity without reliability. Think of it this way. If you step on a scale and every time you step on it, it tells you a different weight and they're completely different. Like it goes from 155 pounds to 200 pounds to 110 pounds. Do you have any faith in what it's measuring? You shouldn't. It has poor reliability, therefore it cannot have validity. Now, if you step on it and it consistently shows you 155 pounds or maybe 157 or 154, do you have more faith that it's measuring accurately? Yes. Now, could it be consistently wrong? Absolutely. That's what criterion validity is for, which would be in a different video. But for the purposes of that training, showing how they went from rating things completely different things to applying the techniques and seeing more consistency, not perfect, but consistency, they were starting to measure a similar construct, which if the job analysis is done well and you're able to design good structured interview questions that are relevant for the job and a relevant rating system on what behaviors you're looking for in the interview, that construct that becomes more similar that you're measuring is job performance.